Car shopping can be confusing. Dealer price, list price, invoice. Here's what's not. TrueCar.com, new or used. Save $3,000 off MSRP. Let's bring on a guy that he trolls me regularly. But last week he wore a Baker Mayfield jersey. But he's got the game of the week in college football. Joe KLATT. Former quarterback, set Colorado passing records, by the way, when he was there, but the ball travels in that altitude.
That's right. It was the altitude.
Okay, so you got
What's up, man?
Hey, first of all, hey, everybody. Jim Harbaugh can coach.
Yeah.
How
about it? Look at everyone back on the bandwagon for Jim Harbaugh.
Listen, their offensive line was a mess. Not anymore. You have the game of the week.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Michigan State is the game of the week in college football. And I'm looking at them. I got to tell you, Joel, I think they roll until Ohio State.
Okay, so I just saw Ohio State last week against Minnesota, and I've seen Michigan, even in a game in which they didn't play well. They were down 17-0 to Northwestern before they came back and won. From what I've both seen on tape, evaluating both teams, and what I saw live, my new favorite to win the conference is Michigan. Ohio State had so many holes. I mean, bad ones. The big plays they're giving up. Ohio State's given up 22 plays of 30 or more yards. That's sixth worst in college football. Their offensive line was atrocious last week. And Michigan just had, I would say, a top 2-3 team performance of any team in college football last week. Last week against Wisconsin, they were unbelievable.
College fans are brutal. In the NFL, we all understand. Eagles off to a rough start. Patriots off to a rough start. Steelers off to a rough September. But we own in the NFL, well, September doesn't really count. In college, if you have a bad opening game, fans give up on you.
Sure.
Clemson won a national title 2 years ago. They called me a fraud. The coach yelled at me. They were awful in October. They were a mess in October. Michigan, first of all, Notre Dame's pretty good. It was the first game for that quarterback.
Yep.
Michigan is good.
They're really good. And that game was really about the first quarter. And Notre Dame people hate to. And listen, I'm not taking a shot at Notre Dame. I love Notre Dame. I think you're going undefeated and going to the playoff. I really like Notre Dame a lot. Michigan, you could argue, and trust me, I studied the tape, was the better team for three quarters. It was the two big plays early in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden, the quarterback's behind the eight ball. Michigan is a really good team. They had two holes that they needed to fix from last year. Offensive line and quarterback, they're getting great play from both. Just to give you a stat to back that up, last year, the offensive line was giving up right around 3 sacks per game. That's down to 1.5. So they've cut that in half. And Shea Patterson, his ability to convert with his feet on both quarterback design runs as well as when the pocket breaks down and he can get loose, namely like against Northwestern in a game that I did, those conversions are huge. Keep his team on the field. They're not throwing the ball at some sort of dynamic clip like Dwayne Haskins is, but they run it well. Yeah. They use their tight ends well. Their special teams are really good outside of a couple of missed field goals last week. Michigan's for real. Michigan's for real.
And they go to Michigan State. Joel KLATT's doing the game. It is here on Fox. Okay, so it's funny about this. We are just now used to college basketball players leaving after their freshman year.
Yeah, we're numb to it. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, thanks, Marvin Bagley, for giving us a year of your time.
Right.
You kind of celebrate. We landed Marvin Bagley. We land Ben Simmons. You get a year, and it's okay. We're not used to that with football players.
Right.
But Nick Bosa is a great player. You don't have to marry everybody you date. Ohio State benefited, Nick Bosa benefited, and now he got hurt, and he said, you know what, I'm going to leave early. I'm probably only going to play, I'm not maybe be healthy for Michigan, but I'm not healthy. And people are coming unglued. Folks, basketball players give us a year, and we're okay with it.
Well, there's a lot of factors at play here. So first and foremost.
So Nick Bosa's leaving early to the NFL. He's probably going to be the number 2 pick behind Justin Herbert, quarterback at Oregon.
Depending on need.
Right.
I mean, he could be – I think he's the best overall player on a big board. But he's probably going to be in the top 3 picks based on need and quarterback need and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
I just want to bring this to everyone's attention. Not every injury is the same. Okay? When you're talking about an abdomen injury, there's a lot of uncertainty around that about when you can test out. This is not a broken hand where you just no, give it time, and once it's healed, it's good to go, and I'm ready to rock.
Right.
This is a very different injury. Therefore, a guy that's going to be guaranteed upwards of $30 to $35 million in his rookie contract, why in the world would you put that at risk?
Come on, you're a quitter, man.
I disagree because
quitter.
He was arbitrarily held into school this last year. He was good enough to be a top 3 pick last year. So these archaic rules that keep him in college football for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that the collective bargaining agreement, which Bosa had no say in bargaining for, right? It's the Players Association, which the veterans are going to want to keep young players out anyways, and the owners. They have no say in this. So this is an arbitrary rule that keeps him in college football. He's got a totally uncertain abdomen injury.
Yeah.
Guess who also understands this? Urban Meyer wished him well, said, thank you for being here. You're a great Buckeye. And I would second that. He is a great Buckeye and will always be a great Buckeye. And this is the decision that he should make. Why do we fault these kids for making decisions that enhance their own future?
By the way, if LeBron was a Buckeye for a year, you would